Started. So welcome February Arizona Coding Boot Camp cohort. I'm really excited to be a part of this with you guys. I saw a lot of you at orientation already. I said hi, didn't say much, kept it brief, but it's really great to see new faces, some familiar faces. I'm really happy to kind of be here with this cohort. So quick information, that's our Wi-Fi real quick. Please connect to that. That's the one that you'll be using every day for class. So the UBI net is our network, and RIPE3T. I didn't name that at all, so that's our password. But boot camp spot, you should all have attendance except for, all right, that's fine. I'm gonna do that. Boot camp spot, you should all mark your attendance. If you're having issues, it's okay. We all mark your attendance the first night just to make sure you're here. And then, like I said with Slack, just make sure you add a photo already, because that's going to help the instructional team get to know your names quickly, because we just move so quick that becomes a second thought. So. Cool? Makes sense? Awesome. Let's get going. So first and foremost, these are a couple of resources that I'm going to Slack out to you guys when we're finished here. The first is the non-discrimination and anti-harassment policy for the U of A. The second is to report discriminatory conduct. And that's if you don't feel comfortable coming to me, you don't feel comfortable coming to the instructional staff, you have a direct line to the university, okay? Does that make sense? I like to be transparent about these things. You'd be like, Jason's stupid, I don't like him at all, I'm going to complain about him. That's where you can do it. Obviously, I won't have a job next day, so that's fine. But I will also give you our program manager, Patty Cook, who kind of spearheads all of our programs. You guys will have her information too, okay? So at the end of the lesson, I'll make sure you guys have these links so you have them. Just make sure you save them somewhere, but it's just another way we can stay transparent. Cool? Awesome. We will continue. So my name is Jason Charles Summers. I am your Student Success Manager. This is where I'm supposed to introduce myself, but I do this a lot, so I kind of keep it brief now. My background comes from business development and marketing. I was in the Air Force, got my graduate degree. I realized that I needed to learn how to code quickly because that was a 21st century hard skill that I needed. So I actually went through the program now 2 years ago. So I graduated January of 2018. So I started in July 2017, and after I graduated, I got hired on at a company called V Digital Services as a technical project manager. But quite literally 1 week later, U of A and Trilogy Education called me up and like, hey, help grow up our program, and that's what I've been doing ever since. So I've been in this role about a year now. I do a lot of development on the side in downtown Phoenix, so I just have a little side contract so I can stay sharp on code. But really, I love what I do because I get to meet people like you, whether you like me or not. We still get to meet, and so it's nice to increase my network from that standpoint. And I really just enjoy helping you kind of go from point A to point B in such a kind of a short time frame, because the reality of what we're doing is just insane. That's real. Like, everyone in here is as crazy as I am because we're cramming so much into 6 months. But I like that. I like connecting with you because we have a lot of the same mentality. So that's a little about me. We'll continue. So real quick, I want to do introductions. I'm going to introduce you to our instructional staff. You guys can just stand up, raise your hands. So this week our instructor is going to be Daniel Khalid. He's going to lead class for us tonight. And our other instructor right now is Matt Malinsky. He's going to lead class as well. Our TAs for Monday, Wednesday are Trevor and Max. If you guys want to raise your hands. Awesome. And our Tuesday, Thursday TAs are here as well. You guys, Nick and Troy, raise your hands. Perfect. So really all of us as a team are going to collaborate and make sure we get you through this program. My job is to make sure I can facilitate that, okay? So you guys are going to that. You guys are going to know them. You guys are going to ask them questions. Again, that's why we say profile pictures in Slack, because that's primarily where your questions are going to be early, right? I want to make sure that we can connect you guys quickly. So first and foremost, I want to do this before we dive in. I want to ask this question because through admissions, throughout this time, however you research this program, I always get mixed answers. I definitely have a data pool in my head, but I want to know specifically if anyone wants to share, why are you here? Fire away.
I want a career.
Cool. Anyone else? Maybe a business or retooling?
I started messing around with Android market programming and too far down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I can't quit. Yeah, coding's just too fun.
All right, I like it. Anyone else? So change of career, kind of tooling? Sir.
I graduated from Cal State Fulton with my business degree. Just figured this is more what I'm passionate about, so I moved out here from California 6 months ago and got my first IT job and decided this is what I want to do.
Sick.
Get this coding.
I love that. That's really cool. Anyone else? One more. I'm just curious. Yes, sir.
I Yeah, I was business sales my whole career, and at my office, our web developer kind of flaked on us, so I built our website. And,
took the undertaking yourself.
yeah, and got it up, and then realized that it's an onion.
Yeah.
And there's a lot you don't know, so I wanted to go deeper in, and I liked it so much I wanted to do this as a career.
Cool, I like it. There's a lot of reasons, guys. I asked that because you're going to find out in your own cohort. You're going to find out why people are here. You're going to find out people could be retooling or whatever they're doing. For example, I did not want to be a developer 3.5 years ago at all. But it happens like that, and I really find it interesting this room brings these people in together all the time. Like, that is a real thing that happens. And so I want you guys to kind of lean into that, lean into the experience that you have and already do have, and then kind of talk about that. I want to see where your backgrounds are coming from. You're going to go deep into that, but I just want you to be aware of that. Some people come from medical backgrounds. Some people come from sales. It doesn't really matter. What I find that people who really win out in this course kind of give up and have this, they give up what they know and are ready to learn what they don't know. Like, that is real. That is so very real. You have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, and I'll talk more about that, okay? Continue. So briefly went over expectations. We went on the call, but I want to talk about what you can expect from the program. And a lot of you probably did the same thing. You probably researched that I did. You researched a bunch of boot camps. You saw what the best optional, most cost-effective one was. But I really kind of want to dive deep into that day one. So what you can expect from us as a program to give to you is a curriculum that's been vetted thoroughly and a curriculum that is always updating and changing to reflect what's going on in the market. I say again, we always update and change to reflect what's going on in the market. That means one of the most popular technologies right now, does anyone know what React.js is? Okay, we really hit React hard at the end of this course because we know that's something that people in Arizona want to see on your resume. We vet that, we make it thorough, we want to make sure that you know that. I told you that these are the people you're going to know for the next 6 months. That's very true. We are very collaborative. This is a group-based learning boot camp. We do things as a group. We collaborate a lot. If you're an introvert and you don't like talking to people, I do not like saying this, but you probably will not be as successful. Because any question that you might have, I guarantee you 10 people in this room have it. I guarantee that. And so with that, we want to collaborate. We want to talk to each other and say, like, hey, I don't get why this method in this class isn't working. Well, I have this class, but I don't have this method. Great, let's talk about it. Like, it's kind of funny, but you would see, like, the people that I see successful just kind of accept it. They're like, hey, I don't know what I know. Maybe you do. Or maybe you do. I don't know. I have no idea. People already in the IT field probably have a lot of tricky ways to navigate a computer. Someone who's not in the IT field probably doesn't know that, right? There's certain things that we're seeing that other people won't, and I really want to do that. This is a boot camp, so it is extremely challenging. I do not know how to say that anywhere else. I do not. I wish there was a secret formula that I would say, like, yeah, do X, Y, Z, and you're going to make it through. You're going to get your certificate. It's not that. It's sheer grit. You are literally going to have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, like, I'm okay with being uncomfortable. I'm okay with being fire hose things that I'm not going to understand this week, and the expectations we build on it. I'm okay with that, but I'm going to try. And I wish, man, I'm telling you, don't look at me crazy, but I wish there was a different method. I had to learn that way. Actually, full disclosure, I left my job 3 months in because I couldn't take the workload. I couldn't do it. I was like, all right, well, I got to quit. I have to dive into this full-heartedly. I know me. I know my limitations. Like, I tell my students, hey, you're going to need about 25 plus hours outside of class to study. For me, it had to be like 35 because I couldn't grasp the material that quick. And I say it not to scare you. I say it just to warn you. Like, this is the expectation. This is the world that we're in now. And boot camp is a boot camp for a reason. You are literally about to be uncomfortable with every single aspect of how we do things, but the reward is so much better than what it is now because we are cramming, literally, hear me, cramming a graduate program into 6 months and calling it good. That's crazy. It's insane, right? So you have to be okay with that. You have to kind of be okay with being out of your comfort zone. You have to be okay with, hey, I'm not going to understand everything day one, but I'm going to go home and listen to podcasts. I'm going to be immersed in the field of tech. I'm going to go follow Twitter feeds I like. I'm going to go find a magazine I read. Who reads magazines? Actually, I say that because, full disclosure, my mother, Deborah Summers, sends me a, subscription to Time Magazine and Vanity Fair. So I have a bunch of magazines in my apartment right now. I cannot help that woman as much as I want to. I'm like, We're killing so many trees, Deborah. We can't do this. Anyway, that was on my mind. But anyway, I say this because I don't want to scare you guys, but I want to tell you that it's real. You know, one of the most interesting things I've seen people do is take their schedule and then just minute it down. Drive time, eating, gym, whatever. Anyone have girlfriends, social life, hefty right now, spouses, stuff like that? Yeah, throw that out the window. That's gone. That is, we're going to knock that out. That's see you later to that. I mean, tell your loved ones that you will resurface in 6 months. People who have taken this program, am I lying?
I'm hibernating. See you later.
Yeah. People who have been here, am I lying?
No.
That's gone. Yeah. Social life is just absolutely gone. So, not to scare you, but all of you might be 10 times smarter than me. That's great. Go for broke. Like, if you figure that out, let me know, because I want some of that. But I'm saying that you're going to have to challenge yourselves in that regard. Okay, does that make sense? Awesome. All right, we're going to keep going. So you guys have seen this already. These are just the expectations for the class in order to get the certificate. 4 absences, and I'll just break down what an absence of a stream is. So an absence is if you do not notify anyone from the instructional team or myself that you won't be here, that's an absence, right? Make sense? A stream, since we stream all of our classes, we allow 4 streams. So if you can't come due to traffic, you're sick, XYZ, you can actually stream the class from home. I caution you now about streaming. We compound so many things so quick, like Daniel, the TAs, they'll be diving into some coding aspect, right? We can go deep into functions. We can go deep into something that you will miss if you're streaming. You're not live coding. You're not sitting here. You're not asking the questions. It's very, very difficult to stream. For example, my cohort started with 32. By the end, I had 10 people streaming. Out of those 10, 9 didn't graduate. So it's just a real thing, guys. Like if you don't come, you're not getting the benefit. Plus, I'm like you too. I paid that 10 grand. Like I came for my money. That's how I operate. So I always tell people if they want to stream, try not to. Please try not to, but you get 4, okay? That's not 4 missed assignments, that's 2. So that's on my bad. That's 90% of homework. So you can miss all up to 2, which is fine. Usually the challenging ones at the end are, I would say, like, you'll have a lot of time to work on your final projects, but you still have homework in that time, and you can skip those homeworks, okay? You will have skips. It will be updated in BCS. It'll notify you which ones can be optional or not, okay? So out of homework, 90%, shoot for 100% because they're there for a reason. They help you build your portfolio. They help you practice what's going on. Each homework is applicable to what's going on in class that week or the next week. So I would always caution you, like, if you're feeling lost, probably dive into the homework a little bit or look at a past homework, okay? Make sense? And then 100% on group projects. Who has been victimized by an absent member of a group project before? Anybody? So this is real. I find this one seriously. This is something that the instructional team takes very seriously. It's very difficult to pull your weight in this class and then pull someone else's weight too. I say again, it's very difficult to pull your weight in this class and then pull someone else's weight too. That is real. I know I sound very dry. You met me for the first time, but man, I will break my back to support you, but I want to tell you up front what's going on. So if you're not going to be committed in group projects, if you think you have a rhyme or reason or excuse to do it, I would maybe have that self-reflection of yourself and say, like, okay, maybe I can't commit, but I see this an awful lot. So I always tell people early, very early, that you need to commit 100% group projects. And we look at it. We look at your repos. Look at the code that you submit. We look who's pulling what weight. Those are real conversations that we have weekly. So we know we're monitoring it, okay? So 100% of group projects, that matters. Your participation matters. Cool? Awesome. Keep going. Normally I have better news. This is all just so awful. I like this slide too because one of the things that is hard, especially in the first couple of weeks, is how do you engage in class? Like, what does it look like? We're all learning things for the first time. This is a different style of learning than what you're used to. Like, while it is lecture focused and kind of live coding, things like that, it's structured in different ways. So I say be engaged. If you have a question, if you think it's dumb, it's not dumb. Ask that question. It's not a dumb question. Ask that question. Because a lot of those jog just anything that you might be thinking. Slack yourself a note. If you want to ask a question, please too. We facilitate that environment. Because anything that you're thinking, again, I guarantee someone else is already thinking it or has tried it or tweaked it. Because what you're going to find out in software development, you can do certain things 8 different ways. Like, doesn't mean they're all wrong, but one might be a better way of doing it. You know, you can challenge it. You can change the status quo. Be accountable. You're all adults. the team won't chase you down. I won't chase you down. I'll notify you if you're slipping. Definitely, that's my job. But you're adults, and I expect that from you, right? We're all here. I don't see any reason that I wouldn't chase you. If you want me to, like, let me know. But like, I'm not going out of my way to do it. You are an adult. Then just be excited, man. We're changing. What our world and technology, especially in Arizona right now, is just such a great landscape to be a part of. People are hiring. We haven't saturated anything yet. People want the skills that we have, and more importantly, people want the skills that like make us flexible. What I love about the bootcamp environment is we teach you so much, but then the skill that I think we don't talk about is that you can walk into a job day one and they're doing something completely different, and you already have the ability and the skill to be like, hey, I can learn this in 2 weeks because that's how I learned. That's how I learned technology. I can learn what you have in legacy code, and I can do it. Like, that's a really something that we need to lean into and talk about more, because you are going to be flexible in that manner, okay? Cool. We'll keep going. 25 hours a week is real outside of class. And what I mean by that is, I don't know. It's hard to quantify this one to me, right? So what I really find is people think like there's a set limit that you should be doing this to be successful. I think that's the bare minimum, 25 plus hours. That's my opinion, okay? I want to make that clear. That's my opinion. That's what I think. That's what I've seen in data. That's what I knew for me. This is what I know to be true. If you can find a way to do less and you think you're okay, fine, okay. I just want to let you know that I think 25 plus hours is real. And do those things. Like, be engaged in the community. Like, anyone have Twitter? My favorite thing to do on Twitter right now is like look at. Did anyone see the 21 Savage thing? Yes. That was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. That's hilarious. Anyway, but follow Twitters, follow podcasts. Really dive into what's going on. Podcasts are great. I follow the Changelog podcast, and they had a really great special on JavaScript and how JavaScript's not going anywhere. Those are the type of things that I want you to be in. Like, think about that. Like, see how the tech landscape is changing. See what people are using. See what technologies are out there. See what you can probe and test, okay? That's what I really mean by 25 plus hours study time outside of class. What I really recommend highly early, connect with your peers. Make a study group. The only way I got by my cohort is people I even still hang out with. We coffee and code all the time. Like, people I talk to all the time, because you're just going through the same things, right? That's why I say, like, the people that you know, they're not going to understand you. They're not going to know why you're up at 2 a.m. talking to yourself and wanting to throw your computer. They're not. But someone who you're doing, a coffee and code with is going to get it. And be like, hey, you know what? This does suck, but let's do it together. So I encourage that type of behavior, okay? Office hours, 45 minutes before and 30 minutes after. That's loose, so you can show about 5:45. You can expect to have office hours, and that's kind of your time. If you have a question, if you need to be debugging, things like that, you guys can come here and do that. What's really great is I actually negotiate this contract, so if you want to come early to this building, the second floor is University of Arizona's. I just ask you to be respectful to the premises. So if you're commuting and you want to come early at like 3 or 4, you can do that. Just, again, be respectful. And don't say Jason said that. Like, that's key. Leave me out of that. And again, connect, meetups. Does anyone go to meetup before cohort started? Anyone? React.js is a popular meetup. You're going to find out that a lot of boot campers, the ones who succeed, especially my TAs, have been in meetups and they are involved in meetups. I would encourage you early, even if you don't know anything. That doesn't matter. So what? Go see what it's like, see the fields, hear people talk, things like that. Organize a meetup together. I'll throw them intermittently out there, and your TAs will too. Like, hey, there's a React meetup, or hey, like, Node.js is having a meetup, or hey, front-end devs are meeting up. I would just encourage you to kind of have that mind frame of, not isolating yourself because you don't know, but really just experiencing it. Because those people that you see in meetups are going to start, you're going to see them a lot. Like, it's what's so crazy about tech in Phoenix right now. It's, you will start to know the people that are in these circles who are hiring, who are recruiters, who are, companies looking for a contract. You will start seeing them at meetups. That is very real. So a lot of people's first gigs come from that. So I always say, like, do it. Communicate in Slack, communicate in study groups. Again, I challenge you guys to figure out where you are geographically in the valley and see if you can come up with study groups. I won't facilitate that. I mean, it's up to you. You're adults, but at the same time, I'm telling you it helps. Cool? All right, we'll continue. We're almost done, I promise. All right? So a lot of you are probably like me. One of the things that swayed me for University of Arizona was our career services. You will have career homework that is analogous to your actual homework in class, but it's supplemental, meaning I'm not going to chase you down for career homework. The way I look at career homework, it's on you. If you've already been in the field a long time, you don't need a technical interview, fine, we can skip that session. If you don't need to update your LinkedIn, you think it looks pretty, great, I'm okay with that. But this career homework is really, really going to help you at the end. We break it up by milestones, right? We break it up by 7 milestones. At the end of those milestones, what career service is going to do is going to take your finished product that you created and just blitz it out there. They're going to say like, okay, these are good roles tailored for these certain skills that you selected, and we can do it. So I encourage you to follow along your career homework while class is going on, because there's nothing I like more than people, with 1 week left to go, they're like, they didn't do any of my career homework, what do I do? Well, I recommend doing that so we can help you with career services. That would be great. But it's great. We have project demo days, tech talks, mock interviews, technical resume help. I did not know anything about technical resume 3 years ago. I do now. I'm really happy about that. You have a lot of career coaching too. So your career director and your profile coaches are going to be like, they'll send out invites and reminders. You can probably check on BCS now. There's some career milestones that they're probably talking about. I talk with them all the time. So I also like being plugged in like who's hiring where in Phoenix. So talk to me too. I'm not a career director by any means, but I just really enjoy the community, so I like being involved. So any questions about that real quick? No? All right, I'll move on. So I gave you a sheet that's employer ready versus employer competitive. What's really unique about this program, the way we present the information, you technically will be considered full stack developers by probably month 4. That's great. We will make you ready because we move so quickly. We literally move very quickly. But with your skills that you can, if you're doing things the right way and you're mastering these things, you will be a software, or what I would technically call a full stack developer by month 4. The hard part is how do you make you competitive in that field, right? And that's what I'm talking about. It's like, well, now you need to show skills like how do you learn? How can you be an asset to a company day one? How can you be an asset to, whatever contract that's being built? How can you provide? Can you provide backend? Can you provide SQL help? What can you do? That's what employer competitive is being about, and career services is going to take a really, really, really big vested approach in that. And again, I'm on LinkedIn. I know a lot of people. I don't. It sounds braggy, but I don't mean it to be. I talk to a lot of people. I have to. That's my job. So I like connecting any student I possibly can with things like that. So, but career service takes a very proactive approach to making you employer competitive. Cool? Makes sense? I don't want to go through that sheet. You guys can go through it yourselves. We can if you want to, but seeming like going bullet by bullet seems like a bad idea. So I'm going to nix that. All right, keep going. One of the things that I like to say is always be coding. What's cool is that you're going to have some time off. What's going to be very terrible about that time off is you're going to come back to your computer and feel like you don't know anything. Like a weekend is a very, very long time. You're like, oh man, I didn't do this. So that's why I say, listen to podcasts. Train yourself early to always be immersed in our environment because we're not going away. We're still gonna shove it right down your throats every single week. That's how it's gonna be. So, but I encourage you to still be in that mode of learning how to learn. Always be coding and studying, right? It's like a muscle flexing. I say that a lot, but once you walk away from it, you start losing that kind of tone, and you start losing how to think like that because really at the end of the day, you're just logically problem solving at a degree that's just out of a higher level. So I always say be immersed in it. Create your weekly schedule. If you haven't done it yet, I highly encourage it. Maybe even calculate it down to drive time. Probably how long. I want to know who the longest person is. Is anyone coming from like the West Valley or like Queen Creek, just super deep? Yeah, like that's real. You know what I mean? Like I would encourage you to say like, all right, calculate your drive time, see what you can really give, see what those types of things look like. Okay, what can your schedule actually look like with work, family, XYZ. Make sure you try to stick to it. I'm happy to talk about it. I have a lot of mock schedules that I like to give people, or templated schedules or something like that. But I just think like it's really real. It's very real. But any questions in that regard? Cool. Continue. We're almost done, I promise. So you have a lot of student support tools, and half of our support team is here. Sierra is a part of our student team. You have your BCS live chat. So any live chat, Sierra is part of the team. It's probably Sierra. So any questions regarding finance, logistics, you can kind of go into that live chat and say like, hey, what's going on? you can actually request a tutor there, which I encourage you to do. Go on live chat, request a tutor, or you could do it from student support tools, which is probably the better way to do it. Go to support, and what I really want to, all right, and this is going to be hard because I'm going to say it day one, but hopefully it resonates, week 3 when we hit JavaScript. I need you guys to be specific about what you need a tutor for. So if you come across something like, hey, I don't know how to put this class or do a div tag, can I have a tutor for that? That's a lot easier. That way you don't spend 30 minutes going back and forth with your tutor, like, what do you know? What don't I know? What do you know? Get really specific to the point, okay? And you can actually fill out a little paragraph or whatever. It's like, hey, I need help with X, Y, Z. Don't put a code snippet in there. It's kind of odd, but like really be descriptive about that problem. Does that make sense? So GitLab is where our repo is. Does everyone have GitLab access? We'll probably double check that later. So we pull up and down to repos. And then student surveys, which I think is a great one. The student surveys are anonymous, but it's data that helps me collect. Obviously, we have 14 classes running at any time, but it helps me collect and get a really like live view on what's going on. So if you guys all are like, 1, I hate everything, obviously I need to come in here and see what's what. But if things are smooth sailing, just hit 5s, 3s will always get pinged to me. So if you're happy and you don't want to be bothered by anybody, 5s all around. If you really, really want my attention, hit 1s. You'll have my information, so if there's any issue you do have, I always want to be available to help, okay? Cool? All right, we'll keep going. So I'll wrap up, because you have a lot to do this evening, but we're here to help. But any questions right now that are burning on your mind? Yes, sir.
Can I talk to you after class regarding whether to accept employment or not during class?
One more time?
Well, I was concerned about, because I might have possible interviews this
Sure.
week, but I'm deciding whether to just hold them off and finish the course.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's
No.
kind of on my mind.
Yeah. We can have that conversation.
Yeah.
This one.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt.
No.
I just had a question. You said you quit your job 3 months in.
Correct.
How long did it take for you to find a job after completing the course?
I got really fortunate. It took me about a month, maybe. Like a month, but I was doing, again, we'll talk about this later, but I was just taking interviews, full well knowing I was underqualified, but I wanted to see the landscape. Like, I wanted to know what it looked like. Like, I wanted my nose to be a reason. Like, no, you don't know algorithms. Yeah, that makes sense. Like, so I encourage people to do that. If you think you're underqualified, why not? Like, see what you can do, take the interview. So, but yeah, it took me about a month to actually get a position and then this position. So, anything else?
Yeah, how do you know if you're in Slack in the right space?
How do you know if you're in the right workspace?
Yeah, in Slack.
I guess we can test it out. You can say hi or something, and maybe if you hit the general chat and say hi, and maybe if all of your peers see that hi.
What's the name of your workspace?
It's easy.
Well, in the middle of the class, we'll go to this activity. We'll check it out.
Did you click like the invite link? You did. Probably
We'll check it
not.
out.
I didn't get
I'm
the
trying
invite
to
link.
get all done with that stuff too.
He said he's like,
No, you're good.
Cool. That's the quickest way. That's the quickest way to troubleshoot. Say hi. There's no, then we can dive in. Any other questions?
Are there any of these, of all the stuff we use, is there anything we should be doing, putting on mobile?
So yes and no. You'll have the opportunity to go mobile towards the end of the program.
Okay.
So like a lot of these things, we're going to go through media queries, how to actually make something mobile. Like that's embedded in the curriculum. An actual language to write mobile apps is kind of near the end.
No, I get that, but I mean, of all the tools we're using.
Oh, I would say Slack and BCS you can use mobile.
Okay.
Like I use Slack mobile all the time. It's helpful. That makes sense. That probably answers your question a lot better. Anyone else? So I'm around, so you'll see me pop my head in here. I always want to just observe, have questions. If you need to get a hold of me, I always want to be available. Like I said, I am over 14 classes, including Tucson, so I'm back and forth a lot. So if you don't see me for like a month, that's normal. That's good. If you don't see me a lot, that's good. That means we're doing really good.
So, what is the group name
For
for the Slack?
should be AZF. What is it, Daniel? Sorry.
AZ-FSF?
Yep. AZ-FSF-201902.
We're in the wrong one. I got registered into 901 because I was doing the online portion first and transfer me over.
Okay. Well, then we can. I mean, the TAs can help you troubleshoot that too.
Do I have to worry about that right now, or
Do you have it
this is
installed?
distracting me from what you're trying to say?
Yeah, we have today we have a session. We are going to go over it, so don't worry about it right now.
Worry about that later.
Yeah.
Cool. Any other lingering questions that aren't troubleshooting wise that you can ask me now?
Can you ask about the pre-work?
Not now, but like just in specifics, like what did you get on your grades, or like how do I feel about pre-work?
No, I had a question about the code that
Oh, yeah, no. That's not
All right, never mind.
yeah, no.
So the pre-work, just a general one. If we have some of it that we didn't finish, I mean, load it up. Does it make sense to still go back in and finish and knock the rest of it out?
Sometimes, really, what we measure in pre-work is trying to give you an introduction, but like also the systems, right? So module 5, 6 are the most paramount ones because they're going to get you class ready.
Right.
So like, but other ones like scratch activity and things that will grade, not too imperative, but I definitely want it done. Yes, sir.
Yeah, no problem. I'm gonna get a new laptop and a whole new setup. Cool. After tax week.
Yeah.
Are we still gonna have access to the pre-work?
Yeah.
Page?
Definitely. Yeah.
Even after class too?
Even after, you'll have all your systems for a year after class.
Okay. All right.
So everything that you need is always going to be up for a while.
Cool.
Cool. I think mine's still up. Actually, now that I think about it, I think it's my responsibility to close my own cohort down. I just haven't done it yet. Anything else? Cool, guys. Great. Well, let's get started.
All right. Good evening, guys. So before we begin, we'll start with some introductions. Now, before I introduce myself, usually I ask the students to introduce themselves. But this time I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to answer some questions, and then you guys will go ahead and introduce yourself. All right. Before I introduce myself, did anybody look me up on LinkedIn for the class? You guys know my name before coming to the class? If you had known, would you have looked up? Yes, one. Yeah. All right, guys. In this industry, lesson number 1, LinkedIn is extremely important. All right. When I go in my interviews, I always look up the person who's interviewing me. It kind of gives me like 30-40% of an idea of what questions he's going to or she's going to ask me. I can tell you that. It's kind of like scouting ahead. When I teach a class, please be assured, I have LinkedIn every one of you. All right, or at least the roster that I was given, Why do I do that? When I come to this class, I'm like, okay, what are my students? What is the industry background? All right. What I found out was there are some people from the retail industry, like a clothing store, health industry. Again, it's a hit and miss. Could be somebody else, especially from the nursing industry. There's somebody in the class in this class. There are people from the restaurant industry also. We'll do some introduction and we'll find out. We do have some people with a programming background also, all right? Not necessarily web developer, but still, like a C# background. Anybody has C# background? No? Okay. Real estate also. And then somebody from the banking industry. Here's the most interesting one which I found out. There are a couple of people from USAA. Is there anybody from USAA here? Are you? Okay. No. So what am I doing? Again, guys, this is professional. Okay, LinkedIn is professional. There's nothing scary about it or anything. So this is lesson number 1. And you will see engineers, software engineers always try to keep their LinkedIn updated. And the reason is this is one of the best ways for the recruiters to reach out and see what you're doing. Okay. All right. For myself, I did my undergrad in computer science. I went to UT Dallas. I did my MBA of finance. Didn't really work out for me. It's one of my regrets that I did it. Kind of waste of money. I came back and I was like, this is coding is still my forte, and this is where I want to stick. So I never get to use it, but still I have that. I've been in this industry for 14 years. All right. I started my career with PepsiCo in Plano, Texas. All right. Dallas, Texas always has a special place in my heart. That's my home, away from my home. So I am. You won't see this because NFL season is over, but I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. In my last cohort, I used to wear my jersey over here, and I used to get taunts. But you guys, I won't keep you through that. I started my career in PepsiCo. Then I went to Cincinnati for a brief period, worked for Cintas. Well, they make medical equipments, lab coats, and all that kind of stuff. Then I went to Bentonville, Arkansas to work for Walmart. Anybody knows Walmart headquarters in Bentonville, Arkansas? Walmart kind of gets a bad name when you talk about it, but you should know, you should see their headquarters in Bentonville, Arkansas and California. All right, I spent most of my time, my career, like almost 6 years over there. In Bentonville, Arkansas, and last year I moved and came to work for USA. So I'm relatively new to Phoenix, just a year. Actually, about this time I joined USA, February. I think today is my first anniversary with USA. I moved to Phoenix from Arkansas. My wife is from Phoenix, so after 6 years over there, we kind of decided, or she kind of decided that we need to go back to Phoenix. Her family is over here, so now we are close to her family. It's interesting that USA is kind of up north, if somebody knows, and my wife's family, or my family, kind of lives in Mesa. So we found a really nice house near USA, but we couldn't get it because she was like, it's too far. We need to find somewhere in the middle. So I'm in Phoenix. All right. Okay. Let me complete this. Now, what is my motivation? All right. So guys, I'm going to tell you what is my motivation to come and teach. You can say it's money, right? I'm getting paid extra money. But again, this is not a bragging point, okay? I know, again, look up Walmart, even Glassdoor or any website. It's kind of a pain. You can search for salaries that you get as a senior or a lead engineer. You'll kind of figure it out. It's kind of nicely paid, even for Walmart. I know Walmart gets a bad name, but you should see the salary they pay for the engineers. Again, and the reason is their competition is Amazon, so they're trying to get the talent. All right. They also give stock options, so that's kind of nice. I have those. USA, again, these are kind of public knowledge. There's nothing hidden. You can Google those and you'll find out. All right. Compared to that, I told you USA is an I-17. It takes me 1 hour 15 minutes at least to get here, or 1 hour 30 minutes sometimes. All right. It's kind of hard for people when I tell them I'm doing this. And why would you, why are you doing this, right? Well, I'll tell you, this is my passion. I love doing this. All right. I completed my last cohort, and I came back and I said, I'm going to do this again. All right. And the reason, my main motivation is you guys. You guys are taking a step in making yourself better or a career change, and I want to be part of that success. All right. I want, when you guys are successful, I want to hear, or I want to be part that, this course changed my life, or this instructor. That's the main reason I'm here. Okay. That's my real motivation. And I know kind of right now it doesn't seem right, or you're like, well, I don't know, he's saying, but over the few months, you will see I'm going to prove this point to you guys. Okay. Now my expectations. When we go through the slide, you will see some of my expectations from you guys. Right? You guys have some expectations, I have some expectations. And when it comes to my expectations, I'm going to make sure that those are met. All right. We'll go through them and see what are those. Okay. Let's see. This is something that in interviews I get asked a lot of questions. So I have compiled a list that top 3 questions that I get asked. Is that your real name? All right. Yes, this is my legal real name. And Daniel, that is, and that's how my parents call me, everybody call me. This is my legal name. The second question I get, is that how you pronounce it? Of course not. That is not how you pronounce it. Again, disclaimer, I've been here for a while. I'm comfortable. If you guys want to call me Daniel, it's still okay. But since people ask me a lot, so what I do is first day of the class, I tell them how do you really pronounce it. And after that, if you want to give it a try, I've seen after a few tries, people like get, and they're like, oh, I'm just going to call you Daniel. So it's pronounced da, ni, al. Right? Da, ni, al. So da, ni, al.
Full disclosure, I've never.
Yeah. So Jason has never called me, so but people do ask me, so I introduce them and I said this is how you say it. Right? The third is like a combination that I get asked a lot. They ask me what accent that is, if you're trying to be kind of subtle, or where you are from, if you're a more direct person, they ask me, hey, where are you from? Or if you're a person who makes assumption easily, that's all. All right, so let me clear that before so that you guys can be at peace for the next 6 months. I'm originally from Pakistan, and I'm from the city called Karachi. It's a sea near the sea port. That's where I'm originally from. Okay? All right. Some of the cool stuff I've done. This is like an art website we started a couple of years ago. It's still in progress, but it did work for a while, but I'm just saying, some of the stuff I do. More recently, I'm learning iOS programming, Swift. I don't know that, so this was something that was on my list. So I was like, okay, this time I'm going to start learning. So I'm kind of working towards that. Okay. Now I'm going to ask you guys. We'll start some introductions so that I know. Again, just a disclaimer, you will probably see me every alternate Saturday. I'm not a permanent instructor for this class. I'm on the Tuesday and the Thursday class. So I'm just here, but Matt over there, he's going to be there, so he can talk more on, hopefully he's here on Wednesday or Saturday, whatever works out. But you will see me every alternative Saturday. Okay? Before you guys begin, you guys are going to see this. This is a steps tool. In my previous cohort, I realized I didn't realize previous cohort, but I'm too short. And I figured out that I use a lot of whiteboard, and I was losing a lot of real estate over here. So this cohort, I bought a stool, so you will see me standing up and writing the stuff on the board, okay? So I just want people freaking out that what happened to my height, all right? Okay, let's go ahead. We'll start from the back. So I'm just looking, just give me your name, little bit background, your motivation, some expectation from this course.
My name is Alyssa. I work at GoDaddy. I've worked there for 2 years. My motivation, money is always the motivation. And an expectation I have of you guys, or an expectation I have of myself?
From the course.
Oh, from the course. To get the certificate.
Okay. Those are the kids, Matt, Trevor. Yes. Oh. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Chess Calloway. I thought this was a cooking course, but
Walking in the wrong class.
I read it wrong, but here we are. I've been here about 5 years, lived in New York for many years, doing live production, but now I work in a solar company, doing operations, and all the important decisions to the executive team always have developers in the room, and they do all the most interesting work and get paid the most. So I'm just trying to learn more about my current job and get a better job. So, thank you.
Amy?
My name is Amy. I've been in car sales, and my motivation is I would really love a career where I can go to work and actually have a tool set and get paid, not go to work and be based on commission. So I fed up with it. My motivation are these little dudes, 5 of them. So I kind of can't fail. And it was either this or nursing. I like the fast track to knowledge, to take like a skill set in and just make money. So that's why I'm here.
All right. I am Daniel. I actually have been in one of these cohorts before, but I got really sick and had to stop about halfway through. So my background, I basically made it all the way through. We're just getting into databases, and so it was really cool to learn that. But I had a lot of health issues last year. So for me, the motivation really is, I've worked all kinds of jobs, but meeting and befriending a bunch of software engineers totally changed how I think about the future of work in general. And I realized all good career steps that we can take right now, especially those of us who didn't do CS in college, is to do this right now. Is to go through a course like this, learn the basics to just get into the field and work, and then make money and have careers to go through. That's an awesome thing. So.
Mike?
I'm Mike Hagley, and I guess boot camp found me. I didn't find a boot camp. I guess they found my resume online. And so I've been working for the past 20 years in IT healthcare, doing software development with .NET, C#, SQL, databases. Really heavy on the database and the C# stuff. So I went back into the unemployment world. I got laid off in October, and I saw all these jobs out that are wow, it's all web-related jobs, and nothing. Like I would say, 95% of the jobs out there are geared towards the web, which I haven't done that part of it. And then I had a phone interview with a technical employer. And he asked me questions like, tell me your experience with API with REST. And I said, I don't have any experience with REST. And then, so that interview lasted like 2 minutes. I said, okay, I think I know enough. It's like, that was the shortest interview I've ever had in my life. So I want to feel like I want to be more well-rounded, I guess. So you know the web part of it, web technology. And I started taking the online courses with Coding Academy, the CSS, HTML, and CSS is a big rabbit hole. You get more advanced into it. But I'm here just to be more well-rounded and learn the other part of technology world of the web stuff instead of the application stuff.
Right. Thank you.
I'm Alexis Schetzel. I go by Alex. My background is the retail background. I work for Michael Kors right now. Before that, I worked for Mattress Firm in their operations and back office side of things, which is where I first got exposure to this world and really just wanted to keep going with it. And found an interest specifically within POS and the operations side of warehouses. So yeah, and then the motivation is to kind of create different things in the fashion retail industry specifically for the POS systems. And expectation to learn a lot.
Thank you. Sure.
My name's Theory, but I prefer to go by Theorin. So you called me whole life. I work as a software technician for a company called MSI Solutions, which provides software for the hospitality industry. And I actually started out as a receptionist, and I was asked, like, do you want to move into a technician position? No, I can't do that. But I did, and I did exceedingly well, and I just want to keep going, and this is what I love to do. So my expectation is to learn a whole lot and continue to push myself, and hopefully it's challenging.
Hi, my name is James. Graduated from UNC with a degree in music recording. and moved quickly into video production and post-production. And for the past 9 years, I worked for a professional tennis coach. He hired me to do video work, which turned into video analysis, which turned into some ActionScript work, some C#, now some JavaScript. And I feel like some of the things I've done have been halfway impressive with the little amount of training I've had. And so I just got to fill in the huge gaping holes in knowledge that I got to get more well-rounded. I've got to figure out what I'm missing so I can get a real career in this field.
Thank you.
My name is Robert Foreman, and I'm a mortgage broker and real estate broker as well. My motivation is to learn how to code, and the expectation is to make really killer websites.
Brandon?
My name is Brandon. I work for a roofing company here in Denver, doing assistant accounting. And I would say the motivation is more just to deepen my knowledge, and then as far as expectations for eventually.
John?
My name's Joe. I've been working with Melissa at GoDaddy for about 4 years. I'm in the information security end of things at GoDaddy. My motivation is to come into this completely cold and complete the course. Expectation is to be able to be completely marketable by the time we're done with this. So it's large shoes to fill.
Thank you. Tyler?
I'm Tyler. I've talked to some people in here, so I've actually taken this cohort too, just like Daniel has. I had a crazy schedule that did not work with this last time. So I had to unfortunately leave, and ever since, like, even though it was out of my control, I wanted to come back. The second I had to leave this place, it's amazing, guys. Like, it works. I know some people that have taken this and gotten jobs. Like it works. Like, put focus in. It gets hard, but it's all worth it. You're gonna learn how to do stuff you never thought you could be able to do. So my expectation is the same as last time. Just pay dividends for the work I put into it.
Thank you. Kevin?
My name is Kevin Flanagan. I currently work at an elevator company, which is as exciting as it sounds. So I'm just kind of bored. I've always been fascinated by coding. What is that? Well, I do not ride. I've always been fascinated by coding, and I don't know, every time I try to create something, I run into hurdles, so I'm hoping to get over hurdles. That's it.
Thank you.
My name is Stacey Smith. I'm currently in law enforcement, and computers don't try to kill you, so I would like to switch careers. with law enforcement. Yeah, just the one. Just the one. We did not get one. Yeah, I don't get along with either. So I'm hoping, to get out of that field and jump into, the tech field. Motivation. I have a family to take care of, so I'd love to make a little more money and be able to be with them, not working holidays and weekends and nights and having to call, yep, I'm going to be stuck at this scene for the next 4 hours, sorry. Sorry, I'm going to miss your birthday or whatever. So I'm hoping at the end, expectations, I can walk away with a certificate, allows us to, have me a great career and hopefully move up to the Pacific Northwest. I'm tired of the heat.
My name is Daniel. I did security for most of my career and wrote programs for University of Phoenix. I did some tech support for Apple and Samsung. But for the last 2 years, I've been a stay-at-home dad. You have no idea how excited I am to be here. I'm just very much looking forward to learning something that will give me a career. I've been supporting my wife since we had our baby when we were 17 for nursing, and now her career is off and going, and now she's supporting me. So again, I'm just very excited to be here and just learn.
Thank you.
My name's Jonathan Sherman. My background comes from when I was in California. I worked for Coca-Cola as an account manager for them, basically sales. And moved out here. I now work for Matrix Medical as an old device technician, kind of using a lot of Subby.net and game programs, installing, pushing packages and profiles, using different APK programs. But I really like what our DevOps team does, so that's why I wanted to get into coding and go into that side of the field. And then motivation is my fiance. I recently engaged just to be able to provide and support a life for her. And then the expectation is just to, like, to move to the DevOps program at my current job.
You said you're recently engaged?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I already warned her.
Yeah, I was like, let me just give you that heads up. That's me, because I haven't seen that.
My name's Harrison. Not quite an interesting job as a lot of you. I'm just a cashier at a gas station right now. I have always dabbled and have a broad experience in IT, but never delved into anything specifically like this. And I'm hoping to hopefully get a good foundation to launch a career, figure out what I like.
In the right place, dude.
My name is Aaron. Background, for the last couple of years I was actually teaching. I was a teacher's assistant in Spain. So I was living in the southern part of Spain. I was traveling a lot while I was out there, so I met some people, some pretty interesting people, some people that were doing remote work, specifically websites and web development. It got me really interested, so while I was over there I started doing some coding just with different types of Code Academy, those types of things that were already free. And then I came back to the States and I was like, yeah, it's time to get that big boy job, I guess you could say, and here I am. So my motivation is to hopefully be able to have this type of job and work when I want to and need to work, and then keep traveling and still enjoy my life like I do. Expectation is I'm ready to get my ass kicked a little bit and learn some new stuff to get me propelled out and have those skills.
Thank you.
My name is Chris. I actually just moved from Hot Springs, Arkansas a couple
Oh,
months ago. It's like an hour away from Benton. So, I don't know if y'all can detect my southern accent there or not. I guess my motivation would be I've always been interested in computers. I actually like to build computers as kind of like a side hobby. So it's kind of getting my foot in the door with software. And expectations, I guess, would be hoping this turns into a lifelong career. Something that I can actually enjoy.
Thank you.
My name is Maurizio, and I'm a nurse. And so that's my background. I usually do acute care and also mental health and other things. But now I have a flow on that. So my motivation is here because they said this is the fourth revolution. And so I didn't want to be missing the wave. So I'm like, let me think about this. Maybe I should take this more serious. And my expectations is everything that Jason promised if we put in hard work. So that's what I want.
Thank you.
My name is Michael. I'm a physician. My specialty is diagnostic radiology. I've worked as an independent contractor for the last several years and had a contract that recently came up because the place ended up getting bought out. I decided at this time, I've actually been thinking for the last several years of branching out, doing something new, possibly making a career change. I hate to say it, but medicine's gotten a bit tedious. But the jobs are sort of getting shuttled back into the hospital. I've been doing outpatient for a while for a better lifestyle. I don't really want to go back to the hospital, be on call all the time and everything. I've also always been interested in some of this. I never got a chance to really explore it. I remember back when computers first came out, helping my brother build one, programming in BASIC, had a Commodore VIC-20, all those things from way back, but got diverted and pursued other things. So it's something I've always been interested in and decided it was time to explore that. I also have several family members who are both programmers and web developers. And they're always talking about it. Number one, I want to know what they're talking about. So it'd be nice to know that. But they all seem to love it. They're really encouraging me to do this. And also just looking at it, they seem so much happier. I hate to say it, but in what I do, a lot of the people are not that happy. I know several people who have either gotten MBAs and just completely left medicine or retired early. That's becoming pretty common, and I hate to say it, I'm kind of at that point right now. So I wanted to see if I can have a new career, if I can use my background and do consulting or build sites or something for medical firms, great. That would be wonderful. But if not, I'm just looking for something to open up. I look at this as just a nice starter so that I can see what I'm interested in, get my feet wet, and then if I want to go on to learn other programming languages or anything else, this is a good way to dive in on that. I also, I've always liked learning, and what I've found is I got to a point where even though there's always new stuff coming out, it wasn't that applicable, it wasn't all that interesting, and things just started becoming really tedious. Just kind of day to day going, try to get too much, as much work as you can done. I want to go back to feeling excited about learning new things again.
Are you a GP?
I'm sorry?
Are you a GP?
No, I'm a diagnostic radiologist.
Thank you, Michael. Troy.
I gotta go after the I work at USAA. I do insurance sales right now. I've done it for probably the last 3 years. My motivation is my daughter, my family. Expectations, a skill set. I've heard that a couple of times. I just graduated with my bachelor's in cybersecurity, and you learn if you're not constantly applying in the tech world that you'll fall behind fairly quick, like real fast. So I just hope to get a new skill set and be able to apply.
Thank you, Troy. Jake.
Yeah, so I'm Jake. I'm just I got an AS in electronics engineering, but I wasn't exactly sure which direction I wanted to take it. And right now I'm just fixing copiers and printers and contracting at Microchip Technology. I'd really like to either get a direct job or work for myself, building web pages. I already love doing Android and want to see what else is out there, learn new languages, new stuff.
Thank you, Jake. Let's see.
No, see me. My name's Ford, or my name's Gifford. I go by Ford. I am selling copiers and printers and phones.
Seems like a good project idea. There you go.
Yeah, and I you guys heard my spiel a little bit before that I started building the website and just realized I learned that I don't know anything. You can build it, but it's one thing to build a website. It's another thing to get anyone to be able to see it on Google. And I'd like to understand how to make mobile applications, and I don't necessarily see myself as a game developer, but maybe able to gamify something. A lot of people have said this, but it does seem like a lot of the jobs out there are in this field, and honestly, I'm sick of having to depend on commission. I'd like to have a skill that's in demand, where people are hiring me, not because I'm, just a sucker that can stick to it and has a lack of respect for personal space. It's someone that has a skill that's needed, and that'd be nice for us. So I'm looking forward to it.
All right, thank you for it, Damon.
All right, my name's Damon Daniels. I have a bachelor's degree from ASU in graphic information technology, which led me to work at Kinko's. So I've been in the print industry for about 15 years now. I've done everything you can do in a print shop. I've been a designer, I do IT, pre-press, typesetting. Currently, I am running digital production. I also do backup in a large format area. When I first started at ASU, I was a computer science major. I changed to graphics. I've regretted that ever since, so that's why I'm here. That's my motivation.
All right. Thank you very much, guys. I would request, keep your name tags. It takes me a few weeks to get all the names, and I'll be seeing you every alternate Saturday, so I'm pretty sure I won't remember everybody's name. Well, this will help Matt also, so that, it will take some time. Okay, so let's see, what do we have next? All right, so we talked, everybody heard. Seems like, there's a general consensus. What's the motivation? What are you guys looking for? Okay, kind of similar careerscape, more challenge. I heard challenge. You'll be challenged a lot. I can assure you that. Be a role model for kids. We heard that. So, these are some of the things that you guys said. And usually, this is a lot of students that come that I talk to, they come with similar motivations. Okay. So it's not like you are the first ones over here. There are people who go. Again, one more thing, I talked about LinkedIn. You are coming to this class. If I go anywhere, I research a lot. So, LinkedIn is kind of easier. You will see people when they graduate, they will update their LinkedIn. You will see University of Arizona, full stack, maybe reach out to them and say, hey, I'm taking this course. How's it going? You can talk about me as well. I taught July last year to January. If there's a student that you come across, you can talk, you can say, hey, this is my instructor, what to expect, and those kind of stuff. Okay, that's also LinkedIn is good for. Now, my motivation, I already told you, and your goals, I personally take them very, very seriously. Okay. It's kind of easy to the point where I am. People are like, well, you have accomplished this or that, or maybe it seems like you're pretty good at programming, right? Guys, it took me 14 years to get there. The struggle that I went through, that's not what people see. Okay. Or people say, well, seems like you're smart or like kind of God gifted. Again, no offense to anybody. I will tell you, God has nothing to do with what I have come across. Right. I have struggled a lot. In my college third semester, I had a GPA of 1.9. Right. I was about to be kicked out. I wasn't a bad student at high school, but computer science, it wasn't. I was like, I just don't get it. It's so difficult. First semester 2.1 something, second semester kind of 2.0, third semester 1.99. That was a wake up call for me. The only, well, it's not a good part. I have a lot of ego, and I was like, well, I have to see this through. I cannot be kicked out. 1.99, I have to get back. There's no way back. I wasn't from a rich family. I was like, well, fees has been paid. I can just go back. This is it, right? I graduated college with a CGPA of 2.51. If you guys are aware, it's kind of very hard to come back from that. Graduate with that, 2.51. I went outside. There are many options when you graduate, right? I was like, no, I'm going to stick to programming. It is something that I'm uncomfortable with. I'm going to find out. I'm going to make myself better, and I'm going to stick to it, right? And that is the attitude that will see you through this course. Okay. I'm not going to sugarcoat this, right? I teach this course, 26, 30 people come the first day. 6 months later, what do you guys think? 26 are graduate? Everybody has a different issue. Financial, health, I understand that. But there are people, this is a very, very difficult course. It's not easy, As Jason said, and I'm going to tell you that, you need to put in time. There is absolutely no other way, right? I'll be there to help you, but I cannot be there. I can show you the path, but I cannot take that path with you, unfortunately. Okay? I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you, I'm going to arm you what you need in that path, right? But I cannot take that path with you, right? So guys, the 25 hours, 30 hours that you saw, it is actually, you will see once, this is probably the first day, this is probably the easiest of the all course, right? By Saturday, I can assure you, if by Saturday after lunch, you will be like, oh my God, I think I'm done. I'm not joking. And it has happened, it will happen, and it is going to happen in the future also. All right, let's see. Again, as I was talking to you about my expectation, this is my expectation that, I'm coming here, I'm dedicating my time. I am expecting the same thing. You guys are coming here, you're spending time, why not just concentrate? All right,
what's SPK?
What is it? Oh, that's my name, Sayyid Daniel Khalid. So, no, that's my name, that's why. So this is my expectation. Okay. Again, I like to do my class a different way. It's very easy to lose that focus. Oh, let me go back here. Okay. Once you guys get used to Slack, I've seen people kind of messaging and all that stuff. I can see everything from here. I might cold call and ask you a question. But initially, I really appreciate if you guys can close your laptops. Everything is recorded. You guys can go back, watch the lecture. You're not going to miss out anything. But the concept that I teach you in programming, you need to know this concept. You will get the coding part. That's okay. All right. If you do not get that concept, you won't be able to code anything. All right. So I asked my class, at least in the beginning, we'll get more comfortable. You guys will see. I won't tell you guys to close your laptops. If you want to take notes, please next class bring a notebook or something. So at this point, please close your laptop. So just focus on over here. All right. There'll be time for activity. We'll work on laptop, and that's okay. Okay. So what are some of the keys to success? We saw the background. Don't come in this class thinking, okay, you are an industry expert in your field. I get that. In this industry, don't right now you're in this course. Don't come with, okay, you know what, I got this. Come with a humble approach. Try to come up with like you don't have any knowledge, and you will do better, right? People who already have kind of some knowledge, not in this class, in my class, we do have some graphic designers, some IT folks, programmer. They kind of have this initial background. So if you know it, please be patient and help somebody else out, right? Not everybody is at the same level. I encourage you, if you know that stuff, HTML, CSS, please try to find somebody who is struggling and help them out, all right? My motivation, I'm here to help you guys. I'll be honest, as software engineers, we are not a very charitable person, and it's a fact out there, right? You ask for money, they're like, you will see rich software engineers, not very charitable. But what we are good at is, if you want my code, oh, give it for free. Yeah, this is open source. Hey, go ahead and use my course. I'm not charging anything. So coming to this class and working with you guys, that's my giving back to the community. Okay, I want to help you guys. So similarly, if you guys are familiar with some concept, please work with somebody, help them out also. That's how we are going to be in this class. So this should be you. No knowledge. You come into this class, kind of start fresh. All right. Yeah. So in this class, again, same thing. Come in this class with an approach that you don't know, kind of start fresh. But this is the time to start on it. You cannot relax right now. The first class, you're like, well, I kind of get it. No, today, when the class gets over, whatever the concepts you're going to see, please go back, revise, do it tomorrow. Make sure when you come to Wednesday's class, you kind of have those concepts down. All right. This class is not going to break. There's not going to be a break. I can dedicate my time. I can do some reviews, but it cannot be during the class. We have a schedule. We have to go by that. Okay, it's going to be a really fast-paced one. All right. Some of the obstacles that I've seen that people feel is you write some code and your code doesn't work, and you're like, well, I don't know why it's working. You guys will come across this. You guys will face it. I have faced it. Thousands of engineers have faced it, and that's how it is. Okay. Second obstacle, you're like, doubt yourself. I said I doubted myself. I was like, maybe this is not for me, right? But what you need to is you need to keep steadfast in it. If you're not getting it, from my point of view, ask yourself, am I putting the effort that it deserves? All right. If the answer is no, then try to put some more time. Understand, I'm here. The TAs are here. Start with the TAs. They have gone through the program. They are more familiar, especially with their homeworks. I can help you with the homeworks also, but give me some time because I actually don't see your homework. I haven't gone through it. I can look at the code, help you guys, but it will take some time for me to sit down to understand what you're doing. Start with the TAs. They are more familiar with those kind of stuff. Homework, they will help you out. If not, come to me. I'm always open. Okay. Great distance. July, when I was starting, I showed the same slide, and I was like, oh my God, 6 months, that's a long time. And today I'm here doing the second cohort. Last Tuesday, the students graduated. It does seem like a long path, and I'll kind of outline what we are going to do. but you'll be, before you'll be end of the 6th month, you'll be doing your projects, so keep on it. You will see that the time in this course goes very, very fast. All right. I've already said that persistence, that's the key. Keep practicing. There's no other way you can learn programming. All right. Concepts, very important. All right. Again, I cannot stress how much that you need to understand what the concept is. Coding, yes, you'll get it eventually, but the first part, if you don't get the concept, I can write something, you'll be like, I don't know what's going on. All right. Try to get the concept first. This is a long code. The purpose of this is, people who are accomplished in their field, they still are frustrated. It happens. Frustration will come. You'll be working on your homework assignment. You're like, well, I don't know. I just don't get it. Frustration is there, but you just have to work towards it. Get some help. This is a community. Post it on Slack. All right. Hey, I'm facing this issue. Somebody seen this issue. And I've seen the general section. I've seen a lot of people helping out. You guys, if you haven't started using Slack, go and look at some of the conversation. And I was kind of very happy. People jumped in and they were helping other people with pre-work. All right. Let's see. Let me complete this. Okay. These are my expectations. Please, given the time that is due for this course, when you are successful, when you complete something, appreciate it. All right, that's also a key component of this. I will tell you that when I'm coding in my job and I accomplish a task or something, you get a feeling. You're like, oh my god, I did something, right? And it's only internal. You can't really tell anybody. You're like, well, I wrote this code. My wife is like, well, she's a nurse and she's like, how many people I saved? I'm like, yeah, okay, no. Yeah, I get it. And I tell her that she deserves a lot more. I just go in, sit, use the gym, come back. But anyway, so when you are there, appreciate yourself. Have trust yourself that you are going to do it. Okay. Teams. This is related to working together, right? Guys, when you go out to a job, you don't get to choose who you are going to work with, right? We are going to have 3 projects in this course, and all of those are team projects, right? I have heard every possible excuse to do that project alone, and I have not accepted a single one. I'm not going to break this rule this time also, okay? My expectation is you are going to be part of a team, all right? First, there are 3 projects. The first 2 projects, I'm going to form the team. The third, towards the end of the course, you guys will have a chance. We'll talk more. But the projects, please have that expectation that you are going to be part of the team. Nobody is going to do a project alone. All right? You guys will be in probably like a 4-student team. You guys going to come with a project. We'll discuss more. Okay, that's my expectation. For the projects. All right. This is another very important skill. I don't know if you've seen some comics, XK CDs or something. You will see, people at this point also, I'm doing something. I get the concept, but I don't know how to type that syntax. I just Google it. I'm like, oh, here's the solution, and I just copy paste, right? Most of my time just goes in Stack Overflow, looking, copying, pasting, and it works. That's how it is, right? In this course also, if you are stuck in a problem, please Google that. Try to come up with that skill. Note of caution. The exercises you will see, that probably the solutions are out there. Okay, you can Google that. You get a solution, submit it, right? You are not cheating. You're not, it's not, you are not gaining anything from it. All right. Yeah, you can copy paste, submit, you get the certificate, but what's the, you've spent 6 months. Your motivation is something else. All right. So I would highly encourage it that you go try to do yourself and try to Google the concept, not the code. Hey, how do I do this activity? Yeah, you will find that code, and again, that's not beneficial. So please try it yourself. Google the concept. How would you do something? Try to understand what the solution is, and then try to implement it. Okay. All right. Course structure. Let's see. So let me. What are we going to be looking in this course? So we are going to start with HTML. Okay. Then comes CSS, JavaScript. Okay. Then we are going to jump into a library called jQuery. Okay. After that, yes, we are going to look at Firebase. This is a tool from Google. We'll look at it, what it is. All right. At this point, these are kind of front-end tools. All right. After this, we are going to kind of start going into backend. We look at Node.js. Okay. After Node.js, we are going to take a pause and we are going to go into databases. All right. So we'll start with MySQL. Okay. You see how the course is trending? Starts at the front end, kind of comes to the middleware, back end. Then we are going to look at another backend library called Express. Okay, server-side programming. We'll see more. Okay. MongoDB. Okay, we're going to look at MongoDB. At this point, as Jason was mentioning, if you have all the skills that are required for a full stack developer, trust me. At this point, if you have been concentrating, working hard, after this, if you want to go ahead and start interviewing, applying, you guys should be more than capable. All right. Towards the end, we are going to look at React.js. Okay. Usually in the industry, if you are comfortable with all these concepts, React is always a bonus. They'll be like, okay, do you know your core JavaScript? That's the number one, right? You know your Node.js, number one. You know your backend. Okay. Do you know React? Yeah, I know. Okay, they'll ask you some questions and you'll be fine. By the time you get to React, if you have passed your interview with these questions, you are pretty much hired. Okay. React, we do React in this course, but you must have heard another framework called AngularJS. That's from Google. So both are kind of hand in hand, and we'll talk more. We won't be looking at AngularJS, but those two are always a bonus part. Okay, that's what I say at this point. If you have good grasp, you should be, applying for jobs. All right. React, and last part we are going to look at is algorithms. Some basic computer science algorithms. All right. I'll talk more. Those are algorithms that have been developed that are, pretty mature, and this kind of, people like to ask those questions in interviews. Okay. So this will be our course content. Now this course is 24 weeks. All right. Out of 24 weeks, we have 3 projects. So we have 2 weeks each dedicated to the 3 projects. So that takes you a total of 6 weeks are for projects. Okay, and out of these, week number 8 and 9 will be your first project. Week 16 and 17 is the second one. And week 23 and 24 is your third project. Okay? In those weeks, we are just going to concentrate on a project. You guys are going to come in the class. We'll have some discussions, but most of the time you'll be spending and making sure that you're working on projects. Okay? Any questions on this? Kind of pretty clear how this structure is? Okay. Jason already talked about the homework assignments. From my count, there are, again, this could be plus minus, but I counted. There are 19 homework assignments that you will have to do. Of the 19, 2 of them are optional, right? I don't like the optional part, but that's how the course is. I'm like, you are going to study something, why not, do the homework also? But here it is, and I'm going to tell you which ones are optional, but 2 of them are optional. So that makes 17, and out of 17, you can miss 2. Okay? So that keeps the count down to 15. Again, this is, I need to tell you this, but I would highly encourage you, try to get to this point, right? I mean, these 2 that you are going to miss, you are still going to do the course, you are still going to go through that week, you're going to learn that, Why not give it a try and, what's the worst that you're going to happen? You're going to get D or something, or F? It's okay. At least you give it a try. F to me is that I did whatever I could, I understood that concept, and this is what I came up with. Okay? It just doesn't come to our TAs or standing a Rubik's Cube. I get it, but still okay. This is saying, I tried this by my best knowledge, and this is all I can do. Okay? That's better. What you don't want is an I. I is incomplete, or you have not submitted anything. Please don't do that. Make sure you do submit something. I cannot stress this does not count towards your certificate or anything. Okay, this might still be acceptable, but this is absolutely not acceptable. The I tells me that you didn't even attempt anything. All right, and that is not what I want from you guys. All right, at least go ahead and attempt it. At least submit something. But of course, try to complete the assignment, but time constraints or something, you didn't get the concept. I get it. Some of these topics are super, super difficult to understand. Okay, it takes time. So strive for that. Make sure, again, 2 optional, 2 you can miss. But I would highly encourage you guys to go ahead and try to do each one of them. Okay? The lecture is going to be, I like to do a lot of live coding, and we'll see. I'm going to do some exercises. What I like to do is, and then there are in-class activities. I give you time to do those in-class activities, and then halfway through the activity, I will start coding. Okay? And you will see me talking. You'll be like, well, why is he talking to himself? But that's how I'll be coding. I'll be like, well, okay, it says this variable. I'm going to do this, this, this. Okay? What I try to do is halfway through, because if you are struggling, you can look up and be like, oh, I got to this point, but I don't know what this means. You can see me, I'm coding it out, and you can get the concept. Okay? Or if you are like, no, I got this whole thing, just continue working, ignore me, ignore what I'm doing on the class activity, so it'll still be okay. Okay? But I'm going to try that halfway through. Let's suppose you have an activity for 15 minutes. 7-8 minutes later, I'm going to start doing some of the exercises. Okay? We've already talked these things. You will see will be more interactive. I want to make sure you guys are understanding the concepts. So we'll have question answers. I'll ask you guys. Again, this is not to embarrass anybody. I just want to make sure that you guys are understanding. Okay? It's better to clarify right now versus when you're at the interview and sitting over there and you're like, well, I don't know, right? There's nothing to be embarrassed in front of me, right? We'll come to that. We have an interview session also, and I'll talk more about it. But it's better to, right now say, well, I don't know. And I don't know is acceptable to me. I'm here, okay? Well, what do you don't know? Okay? What you didn't understand? I'm going to try to guide you to that answer. Okay? All right. So let's take a 15-minute break. We'll start back on 8:30. We'll come back. It's going to be more technical now. We'll look into the pre-work and see how you guys are doing. Okay?
You gave me a slide? No. So you have to use one. I think I got to take me and put me in this one. Sure. Steve? So you are going to be on Tuesday?
Yeah.
So you're coming back on me?
Yeah, I thought so too. No, some woman from Trilogy, she's like, hey, so I know you started May, but how would you feel, starting soon? It's like, well, how soon? She's like, today.
Today?
Yeah, she called me at 3 o'clock today. She's like, can you start today? I was like, I guess. I mean, and then of course, as soon as I hit your audition's like, you're actually on Tuesday. Fantastic. It was funny, man. Like, I got home, I was like, I only have 10 minutes to eat, so I was like, I just like cooked up like some eggs and pasta real quick, just shoved it down my throat and just drove here.
I'm done with it.
I know, right? Not a week after.
Yeah. So funny when it shows up.
Oh, I know. Oh, I'm gonna get a huge laugh out of that. Hey, well, band's back together. But yeah, no, it's cool. I mean, football's over. I hate baseball and golf, so. And I mean, the only thing I'll be watching is gonna be the NHL playoffs that happen a couple months from now. Yeah, so.
Like the NBA.
Yeah, absolutely. Is that your shirt? Yeah, I think so. I gotta get here. Yep. Okay. That'll be adjacent remote. You know me. It's close create more attractive environment. These companies will start moving down here. You want to have 50 minutes to learn. Yeah. There's some companies out here. Yeah, it's like close to where I work at. I work off of
I did. I started with
Yeah.
Yeah, I found out that they did that. Yeah.
And I couldn't figure out if it was a game to do like the main,
Yeah.
It confused me too. It's in the background, so not in the actual like thing. But if you go up to the top on the left, there's like a and it's in that, and you can do like the song and everything. Yeah, on this graph.
Alright, Daniel. See you
Heading
tomorrow.
out? Alright,
Yeah.
see you.
Take care.
We'll talk more.
Yeah, that'd be great.
We have a lot of time together. Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, actually, I wanted to ask you. I was looking at
I got both. I was like,
Oh, that's my first time getting them. Yeah, it's a gaming laptop, 16 gig i7.
Right, it's way better specs than the other one I was looking at.
Yeah, I think
and it's cheaper.
Or sorry,
I got
cost,
this
it's not
at
background.
price.
In cost, you told me that, like,
Oh, it's
Okay.
maybe an hour. I guess I never adjusted the power setting. Battery.
All right.
I had it off battery when we had our orientation. It was coming down to 10%.
I see it better than that.
Maybe I can play around with it.
So, in backdrop, stage.
Yeah, I was in a rock couple of it's super thin. It's like I don't know how to pronounce it because it's Chinese, but it's like or whatever. They also made laptops. They made one. They call it their X Pro. Like they're trying to go after Apple's version of it, right? But a lot of people are saying that it's like shattered, like the plastic peaks and low and pick it up. And a lot it's really thin. A lot of people are saying after a while,
Yeah, so I could have got it cheaper. Oh. But it's flat.
Yeah.
But that was like this.
yeah, that's one of the other things I was like,
I want to
At the very end.
I was trying that before. So good. I think I didn't work. She said it's very different, whatever. They should have some kind of very second.
Well, I haven't adjusted the power setting.
Power saving mode.
I never touched it. It's all.
So I did the friendly thing first, and what it does
But I
is
wasn't
it really
looking
stops
at
you
the
from
live.
stop for forever.
You still have the process.
It's like, it doesn't end it.
Fire.
So when you get out of it, where like this is not
Right.
Yeah, I did the same. They sent me an email, yeah.
I just realized they
Yeah. Where did you get the? So like this one I chose is 9%. Where did you go down to 9%? This.
Yeah, this thing has an orange fan on it.
And that's the other thing too. It's got like the.
You can hear it.
Right. All right. Well.
Right.
No, this is good.
Oh, yeah.
No more part that. Bring the whole power to it.
And I specialize in medical.
Big difference.
What was that?
I'm on the third.
And then
yeah, so I told me about this. Yeah, oh, really? Oh, yeah.
So you work in
Yeah, I guess.
print shops?
Work for tomorrow for 3 years.
Same.
Yeah, that's over by us. I mean, we're not like by Broadway and Dawson.
VCT, no, VCT.
No, Bravo Charlie. Yeah. Nothing. They're about as much of a commodity in that space.
And I did.
Yeah,
So what comes
since they
We're a full line shop. And we don't do, we call it print per day, as Marcus says. We don't really do it because we can't make money. Cost, and then it's so low, they're like a loss. They go, I mean, they'll sell. Effectively, there's no way to make money at that. So they
VCT in the place that
Oh, no, yeah.
we just got C3080 with the open paper attached. Yeah, well, it doesn't give a little full thing, but it gives it a hard edge. It's still stable.
It's a saddle stitch,
But it looks like, yeah, it looks like,
Frankie and I, we have this also, it's the Clockmatic hiring. Is that what it is? Clockmatic?
That's how it's called. It's just part of
Right, and Sharp has a code that they call against the die, you know, I know what you mean. It's all in
That's right.
Yeah, fully, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, we just got that.
But you guys have not just
I just wanted to 4-color AI.
All right. So before we begin the pre-work part, I want to remind you guys have the pre-work homework due tomorrow. Okay. So at this point, TAs and I will be going around. We'll make sure everybody has the pre-work or these softwares and tools installed, because without these, you guys won't be able to proceed much further. Slack is easy to check. You guys are on Slack. Please join the channel MW_class, which is Monday, Wednesday class. So that's going to be the channel for you guys, and your instructor, your TAs are going to post exercises and all this stuff in this class. Okay. There's a second channel called SAT_class. This is for the Saturday class. So Saturday class is a combine of all the 2 cohorts. So on Saturdays, we are going to be using this channel to post activities and all this stuff.
How do you find that channel? I mean, I have the Slack, but there's nowhere it's doesn't give you a choice of channels to add.
So go click on this one. Don't click the plus one. Click channels and then it should come up. Yeah. Okay. Join the classes.
And Saturday.
And Saturday, yeah. There's Tuesday, Thursday plus, but don't join that one. I'm here. I'm going to be in this channel. I'm going to quit probably after this class or something. Otherwise, I'll be getting notification on that one all the time. Okay. So everybody okay with Slack?
I still need to.
Okay, go ahead. You guys can open your laptop. Go ahead and make sure Slack is done. If you need help, yes.
This is related on Saturdays, so we can combine these 2 courses.
Yes.
Yeah.
So both Tuesday, Thursday students, and then you guys are going to be together in the same class.
So in terms of projects, can we team up with people from that cohort?
No, we prefer to stick to your class. It's easier because when I'm teaching, when I'm talking to students, then your other half of the team is going to miss out and losing some communication. So it's better to stick to your cohort and try to find somebody in this team.
Right, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, could we still come in during class? Obviously not sit in the class with them, but work out there and ask the TAs that are in the class questions if we have them.
I personally don't have any issue with it.
Okay.
Check with Jason, but it should be okay. I'm fine. Yeah.
Awesome, thank you.
If you want to come in, sit in my class, again, I don't mind. I don't really care.
Sure.
So we can base it on the gesture based.
Yeah.
Can you reach him on Slack?
Slack, or it's probably, or email him or something. Yeah.
Email him in Slack, trust me.
Yeah, he's like, he probably gets hundreds of messages, so it's he ignores my messages, so kind of easy. All right, everybody good with Slack?
Is it underscore class?
Underscore class, yes. So let me show this again. This is how it should be right now. Looks like we have 10 members. So go into over here, channels, click channels, and either type it in or just browse down. You will see MW_class. This is your class. And then similarly, SAT_class. So what you guys are going to see. Hashtag, yeah, or just click over here. I think hashtag also works. Yeah, just do. You don't need a hashtag. Just click it, and then click the join button, and you are going to be in that channel. So right now 17. We're still missing a few more maybe.
So the where you have AZ-FSF 201, like mine, initially I was in the online course, and so I think this is a completely different.
Right. Yeah. This.
201-901.
Right.
And you're at 201-902.
Yes. So click the. Oh, give me a minute. Click this. It should be this plus button here. It's going to ask you what you are trying to join, and then type in AZ FSF. What is it?
201.
201.
902.
Is there underscore here?
Dash is dash.
Dash. These are dash.
Are we just finding? I get two options to create a new workspace or find one.
Find one.
Okay.
So let me go back here.
Yeah.
What I did was I clicked this plus button.
Yeah.
And then AZ dash FSF dash. This should take you there.
So we're not creating it.
No, you're not creating it. You're finding it. Yeah. So again, this you will see this plus over here.
Sorry, that email is invalid.
Okay. How about if you're getting an invalid email or something, you probably need an invitation. Send a Slack message to one of the TAs, and they can send you an invite email, and we'll check it out. You guys have permission to add people?
Yeah, Jason's
Okay. Send it to Matt or Trevor, and your email address, and they'll try to add it.
Okay. I don't know. What was
Let's Slack them. Let's see. Let's find Matt. Matt, is this you?
No.
What is it?
MAS.
MAS? Oh, X. Max. Sorry. Max dash TA or Trevor Johnson. Right. Send a Slack message. These guys can with your email address, and they'll send you an invite, and you should be on Slack.
How do I send that if I can't get into it?
Okay. Yeah, that's a good question. Let's see. Yeah, just come over there. How about that? Just walk over there. You can do it right now. Yeah, we'll still have time. Yes.
Just a real quick question. So, do you prefer to have our first and last name, or is first name just fine? Okay.
First name and
a picture.
And a picture. This kind of makes it easier. All right. Anybody else having issues with Slack? Okay. So next is Visual Studio. Visual Studio Code, not Visual Studio. Looks something like this. Okay. Now Visual Studio Code comes with.
Yes. And download like as many extensions as well.
Yeah, they come with some really good extension. I'll show you the extension that I use, and those are kind of. Let's start with this one, Live Server. When you get to HTML, you will see that you don't have to. Usually, when you write HTML code, you have to click the refresh button on your browser. With this, you don't even have to do anything. It will auto reload. So this is called Live Server. You can go ahead, and this is the last. Oops, sorry. Second last button on the left panel. It's called plugins, and then you can search for it. Okay. Live Server. SERVER.
What was the extension that somebody said to download?
The second one that I really like is called VS Live Share. If you have this, you can actually share your screen with somebody else. You can send an invite and they can see what you are typing. And you know, it kind of helps when you are doing like pair programming or doing some activities. Visual Studio IntelliCode kind of helps you complete your syntax. You can type something, it will give you some options, and then it will auto-complete for you. That's the third one. Visual Studio IntelliCode. Okay. There are a few more, but right now it's too early in the course. I'm not going to go over them, but when the time comes, I'm going to share some more. But for now, these three should be pretty good. What was that?
So live server, that's the Ritwick day.
That means make sure. Yeah.
Don't worry, because all the rules screwed up. Because most of them are very specific. So you're not going to
Okay. Everybody good with Visual Studio? All right. What was that?
Oh, Visual.
Don't worry about this one. MySQL will come to that later on. Visual, VS Code Live Share, IntelliCode, and Live Server. These three things. And there are a lot more. If you guys are interested, just kind of scroll through and see what you like. But these are some of the ones that will help in this course. Okay. Next one, Git for version control. Everybody has Git installed.
I had a question about that.
Okay.
When I was setting it up, screwed up one of the things, the configuring terminal emulator to use with Git Bash.
Yeah.
Use min-tty was defaulted.
Okay.
And I selected that instead of the use Windows default console window.
Okay.
Is there a way for me to adjust that setting, or do I have to like uninstall and redo it?
Let's see. Try this. Open Git Bash if you have installed and just type in Git and see what happens.
Git Bash, okay.
Just open this is only for Windows user. All right. We'll come back to Mac. That's much easier. That's why you get a Mac. So for Windows machine, you need a software called Git Bash. This is only for Windows. For Mac, just open your terminal, the Mac terminal, and then type in Git, and it should show some help or something if you have Git installed.
Yeah, it's in there.
Okay, that should be good. If it gives some trouble, then we'll come back to it. Right now. It seems like it's working. So it's good. Again, Windows Git Bash. For Mac, just open your regular terminal. If you have Git installed, it should just type in Git, and it should give you something like this. If this doesn't come up, this means you do not have Git installed. So just go on the site, download, and install Git.
Can you go back over the first three?
First one?
The first three, the live server.
Oh, no,
Okay.
I understand what you're saying. No,
So these are related to Visual Studio Code.
show itself, basically.
Okay, so these are plugins that you can install on your Visual Studio Code. So open up Visual Studio Code, then the second from the last tab, it will open a marketplace, and then you can search for these and kind of install them.
Yeah. That's what we start with projects and create for them. Yeah,
Okay,
it's very-
the next one is Node.js. So, since we are already on Git, everybody has an account on GitHub. If you do not have an account on GitHub, please go ahead and create an account on GitHub. Extremely important. You are going to submit all your assignments on your personal GitHub. We'll see what it means and what it is, but just Google the website GitHub, create an account, and that's it.
Is it worth doing the desktop version?
Some people do it. I have never used a desktop one, but it's okay. Yeah. But even the website account, that should be good.
I'm not seeing the VS IntelliCode.
It's called Visual Studio IntelliCode. I think it's a full name, Visual Studio IntelliCode. Just search for IntelliCode. It's from Microsoft. All right. What was the next one? Okay, next one we'll try to see if you guys have Node installed. For Mac people, just go to your terminal and type in Node, and a prompt should come up. Okay. If you type something like this, it should give you a result. For Windows, please open Git Bash and type Node over there. And then for Mac, you'll have to press Control-C twice to exit out. I'm not sure about Windows. I think it's still let's see. Control-C? Okay, still same for Windows also. Control-C.
So you're saying just type in Git Bash, type Node?
Yes, in Git Bash, just type in Node.
It says reference error, but if I typed it into my search and it's in there.
Okay. Trevor, can you help? Yeah, Trevor's going to help you out. But if you type in Node or if you don't want to go into the prompt and exit out, just type in Node space -v. -v will give you the version number of your Node. Okay, it gives you the version number. Now I have 8.9.4 installed. If you have an older one or a newer one, it's still fine. When we get to it, we'll worry about that. For now, I'm just checking. Okay? You guys go to your slide. You're on 11? Oh, it's still, yeah, I think it's on the beta phase. That's why I didn't install it. But that's okay. We'll see.
That means you're in if you type 1 plus 1, so you get that. And then you can have this.
Okay.
The next one you will see Heroku CLI.
Yeah, I got.
Just type in Heroku in your terminal and see if
type
something
Node,
comes up.
nothing
If not,
happens.
Heroku is still ways away. We'll figure it out.
You know that you know it's working.
But when I type in Heroku, this is what comes up.
Oh, so if I do one, okay.
So that's your Heroku. Heroku.
Okay. And then there's this too. You
Yeah,
ever
so
use that?
This is the same thing. You can just this will pull up the node directly, but you can access it.
And do all the other stuff we'd be doing.
These are the two same texts. You're just you're using your normal prompt and you're switching to node, or is that just
Right. Anybody have any issues till now? Please raise your hand. Get attention of the TS. Okay. What's the issue? Yes. Get back.
So you see right here, how we have dollars on here, and then switch to side here. But we see that side here.
Really?
Here to hit Control C.
No, I need to get one now. You know what's crazy is I went through the entire course of this too. Last time, it was a 10 and a half.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's
why.
I have this down before and still trying to solve it.
Okay. And get back.
Still, months later, it's still.
Yeah, so get back. Yeah, get back. Oh yeah, that's it. It's working. This is how it should be.
So that is the
this means you're noted. Right. So you'll have to come up
okay, so it's different.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Control C. Now it's not mentioned over here, but the other important part is GitLab. It's kind of different from GitHub. Make sure you guys have an account on Git.
You'll see up here.
GitLab, and this is how it should look like. If you do not have access to this or nothing shows up, please Slack me your email. I would have to add you, but the only time I can add you to this is once you have signed in to GitLab. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and add you guys as members. What is the difference between GitHub and GitLab? GitHub, you guys are going to submit your assignments. On GitLab, I'm going to submit all the class activities, lectures, and everything. Okay? And then you guys are going to download it. We'll see how to download it. You cannot upload, you cannot do anything on GitLab. Alright? Just make a note of it. GitLab is kind of read only for you guys. You guys do not have permission to do anything on GitLab. The only thing you can do is download the stuff that I'm going to be posting, and Matt is going to be posting activities every week on GitLab. Okay? Yes.
So how are we supposed to register for it?
Just go to gitlab.com, I think, and then sign up with your email. Is it?
Just try it for free.
Yeah, try it for free. Sign up, and when you have logged in, you probably don't see this repo. The thing is, I have to add you. So send me your email address, just Slack me, and I'll keep adding those people. Right? Or, you know what, I can search you guys too, but, you know, just let me know. Let's see. Yeah, once you sign in, so your name should be coming up here, then I can add you guys. All right, just send me your, I think it's the username or email address, and we can, I can start adding you to this repo. Okay, for now, just sign up and let me know later on.
You already want us to send our information?
Just Slack me or post it on the main Monday, Wednesday class. Yeah. And maybe Matt and Trevor, you guys can keep adding whoever is sending email to this GitLab repo as a. So we need to add people to this repo on GitLab. This one. Do you guys have access to it?
Okay, so then once we sign in, we'll be looking for that.
Well, just send me your username or email, and then I will add you, and then you can see it.
Sorry, through Slack?
Yeah, just send it through Slack. Post it on your Monday, Wednesday one, so that if I'm not here, somebody else will definitely add you. Okay, let's see.
I'm not.
So you see, once you have signed in, I can see your username. If you have not signed in, I won't be able to see. So I just search for Robert Foreman, and then his email, his ID shows up, and I can just add them.
Yeah, you need to this way is
Okay, we'll keep on it, and I'll keep adding people. But by the Wednesday class, we'll make sure everybody is there. Okay. The last thing is Google Chrome. Hopefully, everybody has that installed.
So when you say Slack, you just put it on the Monday, Wednesday class?
Yeah, I just put it over there. Yeah.
Oh, because you're sorry. No, you're good. Look up your
So Trevor and Max are adding people. So if you have Slack, you know, that's it. And we are going to go into our first. You guys already got this. Okay. So if you're good, please, again, let's get back to the class. Close your laptops. We'll come back to your activity in a bit. All right. Just like your email addresses, and Max and Trevor are going to take care. We'll add you Wednesday. That's when you guys will be using it, so I don't have to worry about right now. All right. So we are in a full stack course, right? Not exactly this course, but the technology stack. You will keep hearing this. What's the tech stack, or what's the technology stack that you are learning or you're working on? All right. So in this class, the technology stack that we are looking at is called MERN. Right? M in MERN stands for MongoDB. Okay. E is Express. Remember, we were talking about it. R is React. And then N is Node.js. All combined, you will hear this word called MERN. Okay. You will also hear, but it's not part of this class, you will hear mean stack also. MEAN. You will hear MERN or mean stack. Mean stack is the same thing. Instead of React, you will use AngularJS. That's another popular framework. React is from Facebook, and Angular is from Google. Right? When we come to some point, I'm going to talk a little bit more. I'm going to share my views, what I think about AngularJS, React.js later on. I'm going to try to embed some biasness in you guys so that when you guys graduate, well, okay. All
What's
right.
the M and the E?
Yeah. What was the E?
M and the E again?
M is MongoDB.
Mongo.
Yeah. And then E is Express. Express.js. It's a Node.js library. We'll see what it is. Okay. Now what happens in front end? This is what we call what is front end, right? What you see, right? The UI. That's what front end is. Now what happens is full stack means front end and the back end. Long time back, let's say 10 years ago, when I was doing coding, the separation was very clear. Not clear, but was very specific. Either you were a back-end developer or you were a front-end developer. There was like no way anybody thought a full stack. There was no word like full stack. All right. When I started my coding journey, I am mostly or primarily I'm a back-end developer. My day job, I do Java a lot. These days I'm trying to do some iOS programming, but that's beside the point. But when I was starting, there was either you could be a back-end developer and then you could be a front-end developer. And there was always fight. You know, people are like, oh, back-end is more better, front-end is better, this and that. Okay. In this day and age, people realize, you know, the skill set should be broadened. So there came full stack. Full stack means you absolutely know the front end and you absolutely know the back end also, right? One developer can understand the whole flow, what is happening. Previously, it was isolated. I didn't know what was going over here, or my front end person didn't know what am I doing, okay? This has been more possible with some of the technologies such as Node.js, okay? That kind of came and kind of revolutionized how we think about full stack, okay? And one of the reasons is front end. When you talk about front end, the primary languages for front end are HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. All right. When Node.js came, it is written in JavaScript. All right. The syntax is basically JavaScript. So what happened was the front end people, they were like, well, I know JavaScript, but I don't know Java, right? So when Node.js, they were like, well, now I know both front end and back end. And that's where the full stack development kind of started. All right. Again, a disclaimer, the journey is still young. Node.js is still considered kind of young, you know, compared to what? Compared to Java. Java has a very strong framework, very strong backend. They have a lot more tests. They have like 15, 20 years of experience in that language. Node.js is still maybe like 5 years, 6 years, 8 years. You know, it's still considered kind of relatively young. Okay, so you will see a lot of companies are kind of shifting towards it, but the trend, what I've seen is large corporation, they kind of try not to. They have like small projects that would be on Node.js, but their big infrastructure is still like more what I like to say is sophisticated language such as Java, C#, and or C++. Okay. But startups, I've seen a lot of other companies that tend to go this route. They're kind of coming up. It will take time, but Node.js, I think, is going to be here. So I have learned Node.js. You know, I have learned that in this industry, rather than fighting, you know, just study it and see what happens, right? If it doesn't work out, you can learn something else. You know, the worst is you don't learn something and then you kind of get left behind. All right. Even after this, after 14 years, I still keep something. I still keep learning something. I started my career with C#, moved into ASP.NET, then I came to Java, and then I did some front-end development and all that stuff. All right. So it's a learning process. In this industry, to survive, you need to keep learning. All right. Even in this course, after 6 months, you are like, all right, I know React. But don't like stop at React, right? Keep learning something new. React is going to be here maybe 10 years. I don't know how long, but something else is going to come and they're going to replace it, right? Eventually, that's how it happens. So it's better to get that knowledge and then keep learning, right? The most important thing that you can get out of this course is the coding part. It doesn't matter what language the code is written in. I can look at that language and I can understand what's going on. Okay, I don't know the syntax, I don't know that language, but I can still look at it and I can be like, okay, I kind of get it what's going on. There are a lot of similarities between these things. You just need to understand how to read that language. Okay? So that's how, this is what full stack here. And let's see. Databases, that's another important part. So we are going to look at MySQL. We are going to start off our journey with MySQL, then we are going to look at MongoDB. All right. MongoDB is also, again, I would say fairly young. MySQL and SQL databases have been there for a long time, right? They are more robust, but again, MongoDB is an upcoming one, and a lot of companies are kind of shifting towards that also. So it's good to learn, good to have that concept in mind. All right. Again, with these tools, it doesn't matter. MongoDB might not be there tomorrow, but the concept that MongoDB has introduced is always going to be there. Somebody is going to come with a better product with the same concept. That's how it is. Okay, but the concept, that's more important. What does MongoDB mean? What is MongoDB providing that MySQL doesn't provide? All right, that's the concept you guys need to learn. Again, there are different flavors of MongoDB, but if you learn the main core concept, what is behind it, you should be good. Okay. All right. Any questions on? Let me see. Any questions on this?
Do we have any access to this?
Yeah, I can. I'm going to upload this presentation, and I will let you know. Yeah. So we'll talk more. Matt will talk on Wednesday. The GitLab repo I showed, everything that I'm doing in the class, I posted over there. Once you guys get to know how to get that information, you can download everything. Okay. All right. Any other questions? All right. I already went through in the beginning of the class the tools that you are going to study. Okay. Let's see. These are pretty clear. APIs. I heard about REST APIs. You're mentioning. Yeah. So we are going to look at that concept. It's a very important concept. And then let's see. React is there. These are covered. These are more kind of like the tools and concepts, especially MVC. I'm going to explain to you. This is what we call a design pattern. So when we get to that, I'll show you what it means. It's more of a concept, and this is how you code. And it will help you code better. Okay? We are most probably going to look at algorithms toward the end of the class. All right? Any questions on any one of these? Okay, so all of this is going to be covered in 24 weeks. 24 minus 6 weeks, right? Basically 18 weeks. So this is a lot, okay? So please, if you get left behind even by one class, you're going to be super, super behind. All right, so just make sure you guys are keeping up to date. All right, so what I'm going to do is, let's see. Okay. All right. Okay, let me pull up my terminal here. So. Okay, this. Okay. All right. So for this one, again, we are going to look at the Git bash on Windows and terminal on your Mac. This part is really important because some of the commands I'm going to show you, you're going to be using throughout the class a lot. So this is a very important topic, what to do with it. Okay. So before I begin, terminal doesn't have this thing, so I'm not going to talk about Mac. Git bash. This is the tool that Windows is using. All right. So what does it mean, Git and bash? So Git, we are going to look in on Wednesday, the next class, what Git means. But for now, it's a version control. It helps you versioning your code, and we'll see what it means. All right. And bash is a UI, basically UI for Linux or Unix systems. Right. For Windows, we have a nice GUI, right? You can see, you can do stuff. But Unix and Linux are kind of unique. They don't have a graphical interface, but to work with Linux and Unix, the terminal is called bash. That's where the name comes from. That's why it's called Git bash. Again, if you don't get it, it's fine. Just something that I like to tell. I like to go and find what it actually means for anything. Kind of helps me understand better. So that's why I mentioned what it is. All right. But again, you're going to open your git bash. It should show up something like this. Well, this is, you will see a $sign, and that's where we're going to run all the commands. All right. Now, again, this is also extra. Why do we need git bash on Windows, but when it comes to Mac, I could just open the terminal and run the same commands? Any idea?
It's based on Unix.
Because, excellent, yes. Because Mac is based on Unix. Behind the scenes, it is Unix. Git is created using a Linux system, Linux and everything, right? There are differences between Linux and Unix, but for this class, let's say they're kind of same thing. So Git only runs on a Linux system. Now Windows has a problem, right? Windows doesn't have a Linux. So what they did was they created a separate console called Git Bash, and that's why you need to install something extra on Windows machine. It's called Git Bash.
Virtual machine.
It's kind of like a virtual machine, yeah. Kind of simulator, that's what they call it. Yeah, it's a simulator, and then everything that you can run over here is the same over here. All right. Again, please do not open your CMD or command prompt on Windows and try to run those commands. All right. Most of the time, it's not going to work. Right. There are ways I've tried to do it, but for now, it's easy. Just do everything in Git Bash. Okay. All right. So let's look at some of the commands that you guys will be using. Okay. So the first command is called cd. cd stands for change directory. Yep, just like DOS. All right. So this will, let's suppose cd space dot dot. What this will do is that wherever I am, it's going to go up one directory. Okay, that's what cd does. Change directory. It changes the directory that you are in, or you want to go somewhere. All right. What do we do in Windows UI? You just double click, go to a directory. But again, this is a Linux and a Unix system. There's no way, there's no graphical interface, and this is how you do it. You say cd something, and it will take you to that directory. Okay. Actually, this is. I'll come back to cd. I'll create something, and then I'll show you how it works. Okay. The second one is called ls. cd. Second is called ls. Okay. You guys can see this clearly, or do I need to make it a little bit bigger? Is everybody okay? Okay. ls means list. It's going to list files and folders that are there. So if I do ls right now, it says I have these folders inside this folder. Okay. ls means list. It's going to list all your files and folders. What is it? Any question?
Like dir.
Yeah, like the dir in DOS. Yeah. ls list. Okay. Let's see. pwd. pwd is going to tell you your current directory. So if you type in pwd and enter, it's going to say this is where you are. Users, desktop, day one, wherever you are. Okay, pwd. We'll have a practice session and you guys will try this out, but this is what it is. Okay, pwd, ls, cd. Okay. Now, if I want to create a directory, I want to create a folder. It's called mkdir. Make directory. Okay. So let me go ahead and create a directory called test. Okay. Now I want to see if this was created. What do I do? ls. Oops. And there it is. Okay. Now, yes.
So the directory, you made a folder?
Yes, I made a folder. Directory folder, yeah. Okay. Now if I want to go inside this test directory, cd, so I'm going to say cd, and then I'm going to write test. Okay. You see it change, so I'm now inside that directory, and I'm going to do a ls. There's nothing right now inside the directory, so it shows empty. Okay. If I want to come out of this directory, cd space dot dot. I came out. Okay. Yes.
If you wanted to go out again, you would then dot dot dot.
No, it's still dot dot. So cd space, keep doing cd space dot dot, cd space dot dot. Yeah. So cd space dot dot. So I'm here now. Yes.
No,
go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, it's the middle of the thing. You could also do cd dot dot forward slash dot dot.
Yeah.
And you can just keep forward slash. But then you have to know exactly where
Yeah. No. It's kind of. We'll get there once we are there. Yeah.
How do you go down a directory?
So cd. So I'm trying to go to my test directory, right? Cd test. So I'm basically going down. I'm going inside. So you have to type the name. If you want to go up, it's dot dot. If you want to go inside, you have to type the name. Okay. So here's another cool thing. Let me go back up here. I'm going to create a directory. Okay. Let's suppose this is my directory name. Right? Now, if I want to go inside this directory, I'm going to be cd this underscore is underscore a underscore. It's too much time. Right? Shortcut is just type in few words and press tab. It's going to auto complete for you.
What will? If you type.
So you type in cd, and I want to go into this directory which starts with this. I type in this, and then I press tab. It's going to auto complete it for you.
Do you add the slash at the end?
No, it automatically does it.
But if you don't put that, we still.
It should be okay. Yeah. Yeah. So when you press tab, it auto completes it. So that's why it's putting the dash. Okay. Now what happens with this one now? Let me clear this so that you guys can see. Now I have two directories. Now if I want to go inside this, I type in this and I press tab. It will complete it as long as there's no conflict. So you see there's a conflict that there's two with the same name, but the end is a little bit different. That's okay, but it will take you to the point where terminal knows that this is common. After that, you need to kind of fix it. If you keep pressing tab twice, it's going to give you options. It's going to say, oh, these are the two options that are present over there. Which one are you trying to select? Okay, and then you can say underscore and tab again, and then you can come up.
So you have to have the forward slash when you do a CD and you name the directory?
No, you can do it without forward slash. This is autocomplete, so it kind of adds it, but you don't have to do it. Okay? Everybody good so far? Make directory. Now if I want to, let me go back up. I want to remove a directory. It's called RM. RM space minus R. This is important. RM means remove, space minus R, and then you put in your directory name. Let's say, let's go ahead and remove this one. So the first one is gone. Okay, RM minus R. This is only for removing folders or directories. There's a different for a file. We'll see what it is. Okay, so we saw How do we go into a folder, list the files in folders? How do we create folders? Kind of getting intuitive, right? ls, list, cd, change directory, rm, remove, mk, dir, make directory. What do you think it's for creating a file? I want to create a file. CR file, right? I'm in the folder. Let me go inside the test folder. You know, you would think that it would be CR, right? But that is not CR. It's actually called touch. Don't ask me why they came up with this name. So it's actually touch. Let's say test. If you want to create a file, it's called touch. I know why it is. It's kind of from the carryover from the Linux and Unix environment. They used to call it touch when they were creating files. You kind of carried over. So creating files, the command is called touch. Okay, touch and the file name. Okay. Now, if I want to remove this file, it's rm test file. Okay. For folders or directories, it's rm minus r. For files, it is just rm. Rm and the file name. Okay. So these are the more important ones. I'll show you, I think, a couple of more. But these are the ones that you are going to be using a lot more. So not even touch. Touch would be, I would say the most important is cd, ls, mkdir based on the order, and then touch. You know, those are the more ones that once you get into the git part, we'll see what it means. You'll be using these a lot more. CD and ls, the top ones, then mkdir also, and then well, not really remove. Sometimes, usually, you know, once you get in the habit of it, I've seen students just go to the Explorer, just delete that file, and you know, it's kind of easier that way. But there is an option to remove it. Right? So rm minus r and rm. Okay. The next two ones.
What does touch do again?
Touch will create a file. Yeah. mkdir creates a folder. Touch creates a file.
So in the original, to get to this point, let's say you wanted to put a folder on the desktop,
Mm-hmm.
you would just do mk direct.
First, you need to go to your desktop. So you will use CD. Yeah, you have to go. Right now, I'm not in my desktop. And how do I check this? I say pwd. It says you are inside your desktop. There's a folder. That's where you are. So if you want to go back, so I have to go back to directory. So I will say cd dot dot. Now I'm in my day one, and then you will say cd dot dot. Now you are in your desktop. So then you can go ahead and create mkdir is going to create a folder on your desktop.
So will it automatically default to your desktop?
Good question. What it does? How do you find out is cd space tilde. If you type this in, it's going to take to your home directory. If it is desktop, it's going to take to your desktop. I think mine is, this is my home directory, so it takes me inside my home directory. So whatever on your computer is your home directory, that's where it will start off. And you get to it by cd space tilde. Right? Let me go back to my desktop. Okay. The next one is, let's see what was it. Oh yeah, move. If you want to rename your file. No, I don't have a file here. Let's create one. File is called mv move, and then you give it the file that you're going to rename, and then so it's going to rename your file. Okay, rename the file that you want to rename, and then the new name. Okay. Most probably you will, I highly doubt you would use MV, but still there. Yeah, usually, just go on your Explorer and rename it. But that's also there. There's a copy command CP, and it will make a copy of your file. All right. So let's suppose I'm going to make a copy of my test2 and call it test3.txt. So it's going to make an exact copy of it. Be careful with it. It will override your changes also. So, if you're copying it and this file already exists, it just silently, it will go ahead and override everything. Okay. So CP is there. Again, CP, I've never used it, and I highly doubt you will use CP or MV, but those are still there. So it's good to know these things. Open will open your file. It will open in a default extension, whatever you have. So let's suppose I open test2. It's just going to open whatever default software you have for that extension. Is going to open that file up. So that's a quick way to see what is inside that file. And this is specific to Windows Explorer. All right, open doesn't work on your Windows machine. When you're doing git bash, Windows has the same for Windows is, instead of open, it's called Explorer. So it won't work over here for me, but for you guys who are on Windows machine, try Explorer, and that will open the file. Okay. Yes.
I forget if it's baked in or not. So if I say like throw a file name or went into a directory, code space period to pull it up in Visual
Yeah.
Studio. Is that baked in?
No, it's not baked in.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. What are you saying is that if I type in code space dot, for me it opens up Visual Studio Code, but you have to set up the setting. I will leave it up to you. Google this, how to set up code space dot to open up Visual Studio Code. I'll have to search, but you have to set it up. Okay, that's what he was talking about. So this command, you can set it up so that it always opens your Visual Studio Code. But if it is not, it's still fine. But yeah, it's not baked in. Okay. So for the remaining, we'll have like 5 minutes in this class. So just go ahead, and these guys are going to Slack out the activity. Give it a try. Give these commands. The activity pretty much lists everything. Let me go over those. Let's see. So this activity is saying create a new folder with the name self-destructing folder. How do you create it? mkdir. Okay. Then you will create a file. What is it? They'll stack it out, but you can read it from here also. It's the same instructions. Okay, and then it is saying copy. So you're going to use the cp command, and you're going to copy this file inside that folder. We saw copying it to another file, but the syntax, the format is still the same. cp file name space the folder name. It will copy this over. Okay, give it a try, then delete it. Delete the original one that is outside this folder, and then in the end just delete the folder.
What compiler are you using to do this?
Terminal. You have Windows, so you're going to use git bash.
Yeah.
Git bash. So this activity is on git bash. You didn't set up git bash?
I downloaded it, but
Okay, so go ahead and install it, and when you double click, it will show up like a command prompt thing with a $sign.
Oh.
You already have it?
I think so. It's like a
Yeah, that's it.
And I like to organize stuff. So your class activities, you can create a folder on your desktop where all your activities go, or somewhere, within your documents folder or somewhere. Just make sure that your activities are there somewhere. For this one, since you're going to delete it in the end, so you can start from your desktop. No. Git bash for Windows or terminal. Everything is right now in just terminal. Just put the name. Here's one more thing. Try to give a space and see what happens. Do a make directory, mkdir, self space destructing space folder. See what happens.
I'm sorry, what was that? What's the command to move?
MV. But we are not moving, we are copying.
That was to change the
Yeah, to move. Oh, because you were saying move, MV stands for move. You can copy. CP, copy. This one, CP.
Right. I did say move, but I thought it was. Okay, I wrote my. Okay, so this means move space.
The name of the file, and then the new. But MV median. Yeah. You want to move it. Move is copy. You want to copy this file into this folder. So you're copying it. CP.
So CP space directory.
The name of the file that you want to copy. And then where do you want to copy your destination? And then space and then this folder.
Okay. All right. CP name text space directory.
Yes.
Git bash looks like that. That's the thing I was talking about. It's running off that other.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, it's just a different emulator.
That's not it.
Because this is like from when we did the install. That's this, I think. Where in use Windows default console was what's the instructions. Because it just doesn't look like yours.
Oh no, this is what I'm saying. I am on Mac. That's why you don't see it.
Okay.
Right. For your Windows, this is how it's going to look.
Okay, because I just created it on desktop, self-destructing folder.
So it's working, right?
Yeah. Just okay.
Yeah,
it's not going to cause a problem later.
Oh no. It's just a difference of machine. I'm using Mac, that's why it looks like this. For Windows, it's how you have it. That's how it's going to look. Yes.
Go back.
Why does mine keep saying
C space.
I was trying to figure out what.
Oh, that's what I did.
Again, a word of caution, please don't add spaces to your folder names. It's a good practice. You will see using hyphens or dashes. Give it a try, add a space here, self space, destructing space folder. What's going to happen? It will create 3 folders. You don't want that.
Oh yeah. Honestly, this is probably the better one.
Yes. For number 2. Okay.
Put .txt.
That's okay.
So will it actually find it? I didn't.
I will still find it, but it won't have an extension. What you can do is delete it, remove that file and recreate it. How do you remove it? RN. So go ahead and remove it and then create a new one. So this is actually the end of the lecture. We'll carry on Wednesday if you guys are done, you want to leave. But I'll be here until 10. We have class hours, so I'm going to be here. Let me know if you guys need any help. Otherwise, I will most probably see you guys this Saturday or the next one. I'll let you know.
So to copy it into self-destructing folder, you just it's the CP secret message.txt space self-destructing folder.
That's it?
You don't have to type secret message.txt twice.
No. And just type in SEC, press tab, it will auto complete this one, space, then press SEL, tab, press.
Oh yeah. You're doing great. But there's another way you can open it. So if you want to open it, just